Welcome to Coins Numismatic Series, the ultimate destination for coin enthusiasts, collectors, and history lovers. Today, we're diving into the world of Lincoln cents to uncover two extraordinary examples that may be hiding in plain sight, coins that could be in your change jar or tucked away in an old drawer. 1989 Lincoln Penny 1 cent coin without mint mark, fine condition. The 1989 Lincoln Penny without a mint mark is one of the most fascinating examples of a coin that blends the common with the collectible. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this penny initially appears to be one of the most ordinary in circulation. After all, billions were minted. But for collectors who understand its historical context, design significance, and subtle variations, the 1989 no-mint mark penny holds a much deeper value. The year 1989 was a significant transitional period for the U.S. Mint. It marked the final year of the Reagan presidency and the beginning of dramatic shifts in American politics and economics. In terms of coin production, the Philadelphia Mint had by then fully embraced the use of copper-plated zinc plankets, which had replaced the 95% copper composition used prior to 1982. The change was introduced due to the rising cost of copper and economic pressures to reduce production expenses. This makes the 1989 cent, a child of the zinc era, a pivotal moment in American coinage. The coin's design remains the same beloved portrayal of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design originally sculpted by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Brenner's rendering of Lincoln has stood the test of time for more than a century, a testament to both its artistry and its emotional resonance. The 1989 obverse includes the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," arched above Lincoln's head, "Liberty" to his left, and the date 1989 to his right. Importantly, this version lacks a mint mark, which is typical for coins produced in Philadelphia. The reverse of the coin, at that time, still featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo that was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Within the memorial's tiny columns, careful observers can even see a minuscule rendering of the seated Lincoln statue, an exquisite detail that often goes unnoticed. The inscriptions "United States of America" and 1 cent are clearly present, along with the national motto "E pluribus unum." In terms of mintage, the 1989 no-mint mark penny was produced in massive quantities. Over 7.26 billion of these pennies were struck in Philadelphia alone. With such a high mintage, one might assume that there is little to no value in this coin beyond its face value. However, that assumption overlooks the intricacies of coin grading, error variations, and collector demand. A fine condition 1989 Lincoln penny is defined as having visible wear, but with all major design elements intact. Lincoln's coat line should be clear, and his facial features recognizable, though with some softening from circulation. The reverse detail in the Lincoln Memorial should remain distinguishable, especially in the central statue area and columns. What truly elevates the 1989 no-mint mark penny from pocket change to collectible treasure is the potential for rare errors, off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and other minting anomalies can multiply its value significantly. One of the most sought-after errors in this series is the double die obverse, where letters or numbers appear slightly shadowed or replicated due to a misalignment during the striking process. Though no extremely dramatic double die varieties have been cataloged for the 1989 Philadelphia cent, minor doubling examples do exist and can command premiums of $10 to $50 or more, depending on their severity and visibility. Another interesting aspect is the zinc core's vulnerability to corrosion. Because the outer copper plating is very thin, any break in the surface can lead to unsightly spots or pits, known as zinc rot. Collectors tend to avoid such specimens, which means finding a well-preserved 1989 cent in fine or better condition is increasingly rare as the years pass. In terms of market value, a 1989 Lincoln penny without a mint mark in fine condition typically sells for a modest premium, often ranging from 10 cents to 25 cents. However, this value can increase substantially for coins with interesting toning, error varieties, or exceptional eye appeal. Coin rolls and bags are often searched by collectors hunting for these anomalies, and finding one in the wild adds a thrill that goes beyond simple monetary value. The collector interest in this coin lies not only in its standalone features, but also in its role within a larger narrative. It is part of a continuum that spans the transformation of American coinage from full copper to copper-plated zinc. And from small-scale minting to billion-coin production runs, enthusiasts often include this coin in Daytan mint mark sets or as part of educational collections meant to illustrate changes in coin technology and economics. The 1989 no mint mark penny is, at its core, a coin of transitions: transition in metal composition, transition in presidential leadership, and transition in the philosophical approach to American currency. And while it may not fetch thousands of dollars at auction, its value lies in the layers of history and meaning it carries in just 1 cent. 1989 Lincoln penny 1 cent coin with mint mark D and fine condition. Turning now to the 1989 Lincoln penny with the Denver mint mark, we step into a different, but equally compelling side of American numismatics. This coin was produced at the Denver Mint, a facility known for its high-volume output and commitment to precision in modern coin production. The small D beneath the date distinguishes it from its Philadelphia counterpart and tells a story of geography, minting craftsmanship, and regional numismatic culture. In 1989, the Denver Mint struck approximately 5.345 billion Lincoln cents. Though fewer than the Philadelphia production, the figure still places this coin among the most common in circulation. However, common does not mean uninteresting, especially when examined through the lens of coin history and collector appeal. The obverse, like the Philadelphia version, features Victor D. Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln is shown in profile, with a dignified expression that has come to symbolize strength and resolve. The inscriptions are identical: "In God We Trust, Liberty," and 1989. The key difference, of course, is the small D mint mark, just below the date, which denotes that the coin was struck in Denver. The reverse remains the classic Lincoln memorial design by Frank Gasparo. Collectors often overlook the minute detailing within this design, but under magnification, the artistry becomes apparent. The seated Lincoln statue inside the memorial is especially fascinating, revealing the U.S. Mint's commitment to micro-engraving and precision even in mass-produced coinage. In fine condition, the Denver minted 1989 penny will show similar wear to the Philadelphia issue. Lincoln's facial contours will be moderately worn but visible, and the lines of his coat should still be defined. On the reverse, some loss of detail in the columns and steps is expected, but the central design elements must remain discernible for the coin to be considered fine. Where this coin becomes especially interesting is in the realm of mint errors and die varieties. Because Denver's minting equipment is separate and independently managed from Philadelphia's, it produces its own set of unique anomalies. Collectors have identified die cracks, cut errors, and slight doubling in some 1989 D pennies. These errors often fetch higher prices, particularly when the doubling affects the date, mint mark, or the inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust. Another feature that occasionally enhances value is strong die strikes. While most 1989 D coins were mass-produced quickly, some show exceptionally sharp detail, which can increase interest among collectors seeking high eye appeal even in lower-grade coins. Tonal variations like rainbow toning or unusual copper luster also add to collector demand and market value. The market price for a 1989 D Lincoln penny in fine condition usually starts around 10 cents to 30 cents. However, coins with well-documented errors, exceptional toning, or placement in certified holders by services like PCGS or NGC can see prices climb much higher, sometimes into the tens or even low hundreds of dollars, depending on the rarity and demand of the specific anomaly. Collectors often target the 1989 D penny as part of a full mint mark set, showcasing the Philadelphia, Denver, and sometimes San Francisco proofs from the same year. It's also commonly used in educational displays to illustrate differences in minting standards between facilities, or as part of a timeline collection showing changes in U.S. coinage materials and design continuity. Beyond its tangible market value, the 1989 D Lincoln penny serves as a reminder of the industrial might of the Denver Mint and its role in supplying the western United States with coinage. It represents consistency and efficiency in U.S. coin production at the tail end of the 1980s, a decade marked by innovation, transition, and preparation for the digital age. In short, both the 1989 no mint mark and 1989 D Lincoln pennies may seem common at first glance, but they carry with them deep historical context, technical intrigue, and the possibility of hidden treasure through error varieties. For collectors, they're a prime example of why every coin deserves a second look. If you've got one of these pennies, hold on to it, examine it closely, and appreciate the story it tells not just of Lincoln, but of the United States itself. Thanks for watching Coins Numismatic Series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into the world of coins. Whether you're collecting for profit, passion, or pure fascination, we've got the knowledge you need right here. See you next time.